Hello there and welcome! My name is Heimdall and today we are completing the Platinum for 2018's Gravel. Gravel is an arcade racing game developed and produced by Milestone and produced by Square Enix for PC, PlayStation and Xbox. In this, you are an aspiring rally driver working to become the Off-Road Masters champion by eliminating everything that stands in your way, including the previous champions, physics and this guy. Gravel has 14 bronze, 10 silver and 6 gold trophies, totaling 30 trophies before obtaining the Platinum Glittery Goodness, and rates as a 3 out of 10 difficulty with 15 hours on the clock for completion. Gravel's Platinum journey splits into 4 steps. Step 1 involves completing Off-Road Masters for the new Off-Road Master, whilst attaining all stars. Step 2 is completed by aiming for all challenge-based trophies that were not covered during Step 1. Step 3 takes us to online races, and Step 4 involves attaining level 99 to unlock all liveries. So, let's get started. Gravel begins by inputting the name of your driver and immediately throws you into a promotion video that would have been a very different meaning with a change of music. Insert copyrighted saucy drum beat here. Then I immediately started Off-Road Masters. It is definitely worth mentioning the free DLC here, as downloading the DLC gives you powerful cars immediately that can help towards your early game progression a lot faster. This proved useful throughout the entire game as well, as the Ford Bronco available from the free DLC was amazing. So, we jumped into our first race, and the trophies came flooding. In the first hour alone, I had gained the trophies for obtaining 3 stars in a career event,
The first race, the first show points of the season.
finishing first in a stadium, cross-country and speed cross event,
And now, if you didn't
performing 3 perfect landings, completing a track with 6 seconds airtime, reaching 142 miles per hour, then finishing first in a wild rush and elimination event,
if you
reaching level 10, finishing first again in a head-to-head where I whooped Scott Parker's face into oblivion,
the first race is over.
unlocked 10 vehicles, and completed a special episode where I continued to smash Scotty's mangled nose like a school bully did to your snowman.
Friends and fans watching.
Now, after a first hour like that, I was feeling pretty good about myself. It also did help that the game itself was really fun. During my time with this one, the only real issues I had was the occasional crash into nothing, which was resolved quickly by the game's rewind feature. The cars were great fun to drive in, and cornering was fast and satisfying as anything. I stuck to the default difficulty, normal, throughout the game, and the AI were really easy to the point where I only had difficulty with one other driver during the entire game. So, if you were looking for a bit of a challenge, then I would suggest turning it up to gain some harder AI drivers. I was enjoying the more chill approach to the game, so never saw the need to change. After this first hour, however, I encountered the first smash-up race. These were races that placed borders throughout the track and acted as a time trial. To advance successfully, you must drive through the green ticks and avoid the red crosses. Failure to do so would result in your car being stopped and having to gain the momentum of driving again. My secret for getting ahead in racing games is to crash into everyone and hope to murder the opposition in car combat. However, this was not an option here, so I actually had to learn to drive the car. I achieved the trophy for completing one of these races perfectly. However, I came 6th and had to redo the run. This took me an embarrassing amount of time, as I kept making errors, and during this race there was no rewind feature to bail me out. After what seemed like eternity, we finally pulled through, and I gained a distinct hatred and dread for that type of race specifically. I moved on, hoping to suppress that memory of sucking forever. The next section of the game was grinding through all the races to take me to the end of Off-Road Masters and completing the main story. During this section, I achieved quite a few more trophies, starting with one for maintaining a jump for 3 seconds, unlocking 20 vehicles, reaching level 25, completing a race in every location, finishing all special episodes,
Unbelievable.
unlocking all tracks, reaching level 50, obtaining all stars in Off-Road Masters, and finally becoming the Off-Road Masters champion and unlocking all cars. This section of the game takes up the biggest chunk of time, and it simply involves winning all the races. I did, however, have no other problems with the Smash Up races though, so I either sucked, which is most likely the case, or it starts you off with a rare challenging event. After completing Step 1, I moved swiftly into Step 2 to complete all of the challenges. The first trophy was very simple, as it involved obtaining any time in time attack mode. I used this opportunity to hone up the rest of my specific set of skills before quitting to earn this trophy. Then attempted the drifting trophy. Now, I would recommend using the Hyundai Veloster on the Figure 8 track on Mont Blanc, as they provide long drawn out corners ideal for drifting, and the ice allows the car to slide more. I also made sure TCS, auto brakes and stability help were off to truly embrace the slide. Then I drove around in a circle for a little while, trying to make the drifts longer and longer until finally the achievement popped. This left one challenge trophy, which is by far the hardest trophy in the game as it requires great skill and luck or proven knowledge, or Google, and luck to achieve. For this trophy, you have to maintain the high speed point boost for 40 seconds, which leaves only 2 or 3 maps where this is even possible to achieve. I tried absolutely everything across the 2 maps in Alaska, those being Through the Caves and Lumbermill, to no avail. The car would have one tyre leave the ground and it was all over. This trophy took an error alone, which may not seem significant compared to some difficult and grindy trophies that exist, but considering the entire game took 13 hours for me to complete for this platinum, it was a major setback on time. Eventually, I consulted the internet gods and found a solution. I used the Hummer and set the final ratio to 13. I also made sure that auto brakes and braking help was disabled. Then I started the time trial on Alaska Lumbermill and just held the trigger down and hoped it would work. After a few attempts, the trophy popped and I breathed a sigh of relief. With Step 2 done, I moved on to online. What I will say about the online in this game is that it is completely dead and I don't fully understand how it works. I waited for a good 30 minutes for another participant to appear, which never happened, so I decided to continue grinding the XP instead until I could organise some help from my fiancée. Yes, I platinum trophies and someone agreed to marry me, and I didn't pay her. And before you say anything, yes, she is real. Once online, actually racing another human being instead of stupid stale AI was pretty fun, albeit not a very good human being as she had literally just downloaded the game when she jumped on to play with me, and we both had a blast for the hour it took to complete 10 online races. The achievement does pop in private matches as well as public, but with the state of the online server usage, I'd say your public matches and private matches are exactly the same thing. Anyway, we completed the races for the online achievements, which left Step 4 and 1 trophy to collect all liveries within the game. My method of grinding was pretty simple and was the one I could think of that required minimal effort to set up and was the most efficient. I selected the very first tournaments type race and repeated this over and over and over and over and over and over. By the end of it, I felt like Geraldine McQueen. Shout out to you if you understood that reference. But we completed the grind for the liveries trophy and the platinum was ours. This game, as previously mentioned, took 13 hours for me to complete, 2 hours under the guide time. My personal goal for platinum trophies is to beat the guide time in general, as I can't say that I'm a fast gamer, so I was pretty happy with the outcome on the time on this occasion. Overall, Gravel is a very solid arcade rally game. The game loop was addictive, refreshing, and overall the cars all felt different yet still adaptable to the tracks. Some were obviously better than others, but the point of many racing games is that you'll get better cars the more you play and progress. However, I had a blast during this game most of the way through. I felt that Gravel was just the right length of time for me to play as well, as by the end of the Off-Road Masters, and especially during the grinding, the tracks were becoming more and more stale, so obtaining the platinum felt like it was time to move on. However, on the other side of things, although there are plenty of tracks to choose from, some tracks are just variations of other tracks with an extra corner or loop involved, and I felt the locations were limited overall. I also personally had issues where my car would randomly turn into a drunk Peter Pan and start whizzing into the air for no reason whatsoever, and while this did serve me well when obtaining the jump time trophy, it was more annoying everywhere else. The other criticism I would lay at is the online system. Now, I understand that servers can be void of humanity. However, Gravel's online system was outdated, confusing, and also void of humanity. It was awful. Thank heaven for my fiancée that does exist, who jumped in to give a helping hand, or else I would have actually had to make friends. So, with that in mind, let's give Gravel its rating. Gravel has many strengths in my opinion, and the entire idea of gaming is to have fun, which the game certainly ticks off. However, the game did feel stale towards the end of my 13 hours, and there were glitches and annoyances I encountered that were not a result of my bad driving, and the amount and variety of content was good, but only for the short term. So for this reason, Gravel gets a 65 out of 100, leaving it second under Spider-Man Remastered. I feel that this is a solid option for people who want to mindlessly win races and have a fun rally experience. However, it has nothing on Spider-Man in terms of quality, leaving a significant chunk between the two games on this list. Next time, we will be continuing on our web-slinging journey with Insomniac's 2020 release, Spider-Man Miles Morales, where we play as the new Spider-Man and delve into his origins as the new menace on the block. And, as always, completing all the trophies available in the game, so please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for future updates to the channel, and I bid you all a fond farewell. Goodbye.